Um, Hello everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm going to make some mac and cheese from scratch. So let me just show you as best I can. We've got our pasta that we need to boil. So I'm going to do that in a second. This has our flour measured out and some of our seasonings in for the sauce later. I've measured out roughly about 150 milliliters of milk. We've got our cheese and our butter as well. So I'm going to put the pasta on to boil. I'm going to try my best to show you guys this as best as I can. So here, hopefully you can see I've got a saucepan of hot water. And then I'm just going to put my pasta. I think I dropped a piece. And put my pasta in my saucepan as carefully as I can. Now I would advise using roughly about 75 grams of pasta per serving, or like per person. So yeah, hopefully. Okay, ooh. Okay, last few pieces of pasta are in the saucepan. That's gonna go to boil for roughly about 15 minutes. And we've got some excess stuff there, right. You can put like bacon or like ham in if you want to, but I'm choosing not to today. You're going to need a wooden spoon to stir your cheese sauce, and I'm using a pasta spoon, I think that's what it's called. Forgot my kitchen terminology stuff. So yeah, I'm going to let that boil in there, and actually, bear with me on this. We're going to let our pasta boil in the smaller saucepan. I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. Right. Pasta has gone on to boil. We're going to need our butter. I'm only doing for one person, so I'm going to go roughly about this much, but I can put more in if I need to. That's going to go over a low heat just to melt for now. You guys don't have to do this, but I'm adding in this little pot as like a flavour pot, just to give it a bit of flavour. Alright, so once your butter's in, you're gonna melt it, and then you're gonna add a tablespoon of flour, and you're gonna mix your flour and your butter until they become like a thick paste. Butter might take a bit of time to melt, so have some patience with it. It should all work out. Hopefully it goes okay. So my butter is now starting to melt, and that's actually looking quite nice. I want to try and show you guys what I'm doing as best as I can, but this is kind of difficult to show you because I'm using my phone for the stream, so it's kind of hard to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing, but I need to make sure that I keep... Oh, there you go. Oh. Always remember to keep your workspace that you're using clean though. So once your butter's melted, it should look like a liquidy, like obviously be liquid, but it should be like a creamy kind of yellowy colour. Now you only need 1 tablespoon of flour. You don't have to sieve yours in, but I like to sieve mine in because it means that it's like less likely to get like lumpy. So I'm just gonna sieve that in like so. And then I'm going to add in all of my lovely seasonings. So what you should have now is like your melted butter and your flour in there with your seasonings. And then you're just going to keep gently mixing this until it becomes like a thick paste. And I think like the mixing it into like a thick paste should take like 5 minutes at most. So this is roughly what your paste should look like. It's thick and quite stodgy. It kind of looks like a bit of a doughy thing, but yeah, you've got your paste. Now, once your paste is of a consistency that you are happy with, you can start adding in your milk, but you need to do it like a very little bit at a time. So just like a little splash, mix it, and just keep mixing and adding little bits at a time as you go along. So I'm going to do about that. And then we're just going to mix that milk into the paste. Now what should happen is the paste, like the milk should start to mix into the paste, and it should start to make like a thick sauce. It might take a little while to get the sauce texture that you want, but it should be like a thick creamy texture, and there shouldn't be any lumps of flour in it at all. So by mixing your flour and your butter together into a paste before you put the milk in, you're much less likely to get lumps of flour in the sauce when you're finished making it. This is starting to come together, I would say. And you only really need to do a little bit of milk at a time. You shouldn't need loads. And just something to be careful of as well. If you put too much milk in at once, it can make the sauce go like a really runny, liquidy state, and it won't have the ideal consistency. This is really starting to come together now. If I move, I don't know what that little... hello to the person who just commented. I couldn't quite read the username, but thank you for popping on today. Currently making macaroni cheese from scratch. Yeah, working on the cheese sauce. Pasta's boiling. I'm gonna do a little bit more milk. And now, hot milk. This is actually going quite well. I just need to keep adding a little bit of milk at a time and mixing until it stops being so much of a paste and more of a creamy sauce-like texture. But that might take a little bit of patience. Right, we're doing good. This is taking a bit longer than I thought it might, but that's okay. We have time. This smells really good, and something I noticed as well from previous times where I've made this, the cheese really complements the parsley, but I haven't gotten around to putting the cheese in because it's the last thing you're supposed to do. So this is still looking more of a dough than a, kind of looking a bit more like a cake dough, but that's not what we want. So I'm going to do some more milk. I think I might have just put too much in, but it's okay because if I have, we can just add a bit more flour and that should thicken it up. You can see it's kind of starting to, this looks really weird, but hopefully, I'm just going to turn the heat up on this from a low heat to a medium heat now. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere, I think. Yep, we've got to make sure it's all combined. Mix it all in. This is a lot of cheese sauce, definitely takes a lot. And I mean a lot of mixing, because if you don't mix it, then it's not going to combine properly and there's a high chance it'll stick to the pan, and that's not what we want. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Can you see? It's more of like a sauce rather than a paste. And now I'm just going to add a little bit more milk, just because this is still a bit thicker than I want it to be. But cheese sauce in itself is actually supposed to be quite a thick sauce. But this is definitely getting that thick, creamy texture that you would want for a cheese sauce. And it smells amazing. I need to just make sure I don't burn my pasta, because that would be bad. Yeah, we're getting somewhere with this. I'm just going to quickly check my pasta a second. Yeah, that's done. Right. So our cheese sauce is very almost ready, and our pasta is done. So I'm going to take my pasta off of the heat for now, and we can strain that in a little bit. You can see it's got that thick consistency that we want. And now, you don't need a lot of cheese, because most of the recipe is just like butter and flour and milk. So I've got some previously grated cheese here. I'm just gonna sprinkle a small handful in, and do a little bit more of my milk as well. And then we mix that in till the cheese is completely melted in and you can't see any of the milk, and that should be ready. Now, if you're not entirely happy with the consistency of the cheese sauce, like if it's too thick, you can just add a bit more milk. If it gets too runny or too thin, just add a little bit more flour in, or cornstarch if you have that. Now, this is looking to be pretty good. I think this is done. So I'm going to take this off the heat as well. So then, when it's done, there's still a little bit of milk in there. Not enough that's worth putting in here though. So when it's done, you should have something like this. I kind of prefer it to be like a soup-like consistency, but you can do yours a little bit like thicker or thinner if you prefer. I'm just going to add a tiny splash more milk because that's a bit thicker than I want my sauce to be. Ow, I stepped on the wash bag. Right, and now, again, just mixing till that milk is combined with the rest of the sauce. And I think I might have put too much in at once, but that's okay because once I strain my pasta and put that in, that's going to absorb some of the moisture as well. So we did get a little bit stuck to the pan, but that's okay. I need to be careful because there is a hot hob next to me and I don't want my Tourette's to make me catch myself on that. Where's cheese? Yeah, that's plenty. I'm just quickly mixing in the last bit of cheese, and then this is done. We don't need to add anything else to this. Now, when I make mac and cheese from scratch, normally I like to put in a bit of bacon or a bit of ham just to give it that little bit of an extra flavour or extra something to chew on, but that's up to you. And now that that's done, so I'm going to put that to one side. And we have our saucepan full of our pasta. And my pasta's looking pretty cooked at the minute, so I'm going to drain all of the pasta from the water and just scoop that straight into my bowl. I think I actually made a bit too much pasta. Oh well. That's another cool thing though. If you do accidentally make too much cheese sauce, or yeah, if you do accidentally make too much cheese sauce, you can put it in a container and freeze it, and then you've got some for another time. So I'm just gonna make sure that I've got all of my pasta out of this. And then once I've done that, we can mix the cheese sauce and the pasta together, and then the macaroni cheese will be done. I'm hoping you can hear me okay, because I can't actually check that you guys can actually hear me. Get off. Sorry, bit of pasta got stuck to my scoopy thing. Right, that's done. So now we've got our pasta. We have our sauce. The next step is to combine the two. Now you can put the cheese sauce over the pasta and stir it in that way, but I like to tip the pasta into the cheese sauce and mix the living hell out of it. So there we go. Pasta goes in, and then you just mix the pasta and the cheese sauce all together. There is a lot of mixing involved in this. A lot of mixing involved in this meal, but hopefully it all tastes great once it's all put together. Because I didn't actually put any flavourings or anything like that in with the pasta itself, so all of the delicious flavouring is in the sauce. So once yours might look a bit nicer than mine, but once you've made your cheese sauce, boiled your pasta and mixed them all together, you should have something a bit like this. It might be hard to show you guys because of the lighting. And now you take macaroni cheese, put it in your bowl, and that's done. You can eat that straight away. So I'm just gonna dish this up, and then we'll try some and see what we think of it. This smells amazing. Now that actually looks a lot more on camera than what it is in here, but I think I might probably be able to feed 2 people with the amount I made, so I think I'm gonna eat half of this and then reheat it the other half another time. Right, let me grab myself a fork. No, I don't want a kniffy. want a spoony either. I want a forky. Got a fork. So the first thing I'm going to do is try the sauce. Pretty good. It doesn't taste so nice on its own though. Actually, yeah, no, that is pretty good. And if I just scrape a little bit off here to show you, you can see it's like a thick, creamy texture to it. And it tastes amazing, right? Let's try it. Ah! I nearly made a mess then, whoops. Let's try it all put together. You can add like some salt or pepper to it if you wanted to, and if you really wanted to, you could always grate a bit of cheese to put on the top. Let's try this. I'm happy with that. That is really, really super good. Yep. That's all for now with baking side of things. I'm going to put this little bit of cheese. Cooking side of things. Do feel free to talk with me in the chat or like comments, and I'll try to respond to as many as I do see. Right in there. Right. I need to wash this saucepan, but I can do that after. See, there's still stuff, excess in the pan. So I'm just scraping around the pan just to make sure there's no like pasta in there. Right. Done with that, I can wash that later. To everyone who has joined me for this stream, thank you for coming on. I will also be posting this on YouTube later if Twitch saves the whole stream. So to everyone who will be watching this on YouTube, hello. And for now, goodbye from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!